What an exciting opportunity to be on such an amazing panel of women. And like Melinda Gates says, and you have both echoed this, Margaret and Matabo, when we lift up women, we lift up humanity, and we really, really do. So today I'm sharing with you 5 greater truths that I wish someone had shared with me when I was younger. And it's taken me 42 years to learn some of these. So I thought, let me share these nuggets with you today, and hopefully you can take them and use them as you will. So the first greater truth that I would like to share with you is we are the ones that we have been waiting for. Now, in fairy tales, and if I'm blessed to have a little daughter one day, I will not read her fairy tales because we need to liberate ourselves from the Cinderella story. And what that is Cinderella meets her shining prince or sleeping beauty, gets kissed, and she wakes up and they kiss and they live happily ever after. What they don't tell you is that Cinderella gets married, then she has multiple miscarriages, then she gets fat because she has a thyroid issue, then she has a baby, then she gets divorced and is a single mom. Now, here's the thing. Then she lives happily ever after. So here's the thing. We need to self-partner in life. We need to be the ones that we have been waiting for. It's not outside in, it's inside out. If we can learn to be whole and complete by ourselves and not keep waiting for either that job, that knight in shining armor, that body, that holiday, we are whole ourselves. So that's my first greater truth to share with you. Then my second greater truth to share with you is that suffering is universal and victimhood is optional. I wish this was my quote. It isn't. It's by a lady called Edith Eger, and she wrote a book called The Choice and the Gift and is a Holocaust survivor from Auschwitz. And she said that one can transcend suffering into meaning. We are not going to go unscathed in this life. I mean, look at what Matabo and Margaret have been chatting about. Look at what the Hirsch's team did in handling that tragic moment of demolition in their stores. And within a week, they got it up and running, which is absolutely incredible and so inspirational. So we need to find meaning in our suffering. Suffering is inevitable. And I like to use the word suffering versus pain because pain could imply physical, but at some point we are bound to have an illness, lose a loved one, maybe a divorce, a miscarriage. I've had multiple sufferings in my life, and no one likes a victim or a martyr, you know, and it's important to feel the feelings, embrace them, and then transcend them into something meaningful. So that is the second greater truth. The third greater truth is resource yourself. Wow, it's taken me 42 years to learn this. And we used to have a village that raised us, that raised children. We are so isolated. And this is one of our power blocks as women, is isolation. There's lack, there's shame, and there's isolation. And we are now more isolated than we've ever been. Think about the pandemic. Think about working from home. Think about doing all the lifts, homeschooling, everything. And the greatest truth I can share with you is to resource up, whether that means getting help with the kids, asking grandparents to assist. If you don't have that, then get a driver, and don't carry that shame. I carried shame because I thought I need to be doing everything. I'm a superwoman. Ladies, we are mere mortals. We are mere mortals. And the superwoman thing is really passé. We need to resource ourselves, whether that is having a mastermind group, and I would really suggest and encourage you to have a mastermind group of your own. If it's other ladies, if it's an astrologer, if it's a chiropractor, if it's a reflexologist, if it's a therapist. When I'm really stressed out, my body kind of shuts down. And just this week alone, I saw my chiropractor and I go for brain optimization, and I'm not scared because our mental health and our physical bodies need a tune-up, just like a car. So resource yourself and don't be ashamed to do that. It's taken me a very long time to learn. Now we go to greater truth number 4. Okay. You can make it without faking it. Everyone's thinking, oh, but I've always taught fake it till you make it. I have a huge problem with fake, and I've gone to war with it since I was a very young girl. I believe that you can self-promote and not self-inflate. You want to self-promote in a way that doesn't make you or others cringe. And this is very important these days because self-promotion is essential. We all know it is. It's essential for our business, for our marketing, for our own profiles, for our own brands. But here's the thing. When you self-inflate, you actually show insecurity leaks. And tomorrow, I'm actually doing this talk, Make It Without Faking It, for the Entrepreneurs Forum tomorrow, because I have been in sales since I was in my 20s. Actually, since I was 16, but got paid for it in my 20s, in unique environments in the United States, selling animation, selling directors, then selling houses, and now I sell franchises. So I do have a little bit of knowledge on this topic. And the most amazing sales and marketing that I've ever experienced is done from authentic confidence. So tomorrow I'm going to share how to create that credibility and that authentic confidence without making yourself and others cringe. A perfect example is if we look at our LinkedIn profiles. Some of us call ourselves agitators. What is an agitator? I've been married. I agitated daily. I have children. They agitate daily. What does that mean? Some of us call ourselves 7-time entrepreneurs. What is wrong with the word entrepreneur? It's like saying you're 7-time human. We've got to really take a look and do a bit of a bullshit audit of all our accolades, all our accomplishments. I'm guilty. We're all guilty. On one hand, on one LinkedIn profile that I used to have, I had the word activist. And here's the thing. I'm not an activist. I'm not a full-time activist. I'm passionate about gender-based rights. I'm passionate about mental health. But an activist is Nelson Mandela. That's an activist. So we've got to be careful how we frame ourselves and how we don't overestimate or overinflate and underdeliver. And here's the other thing, virtue signaling. Be very careful. Anyone that writes #blessed or #humbled is not really humbled. You've got to be careful of this. Everyone's doing it, and that doesn't mean it's the right way, okay? So tomorrow we go into that, how to market yourself and your business without making others cringe, okay? And now I go on to the greater truth number 5. You are not that important. Your mother and father might disagree, but you are not that important. And this is why it is such a liberated feeling to really come to terms with that. Not everything is about you. And most of life, in our lives, some of our suffering starts off from those 4 agreements by Don, how do I say his name? Don Miguel Ruiz. I didn't want to get his name wrong, so I looked at my paper. But there's 4 agreements, and agreement 2 and 3 is don't take things personally and don't make assumptions. When we think we're so important, we think everything is about us. But it's not. It's just like that song. I bet you think the song is about you. No, it isn't. And you can liberate yourself so meaningfully from that. We are not that important. And when you realize that we are in this huge universe, and you don't feel paranoid that everything is about you, because it can cause you a lot of pain. So ladies, the 5 greater truths, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Suffering is universal. Victimhood is optional. Resource yourself. You can make it without faking it. I'm going to tell you tomorrow, and you are not that important. Thank you. And it's been a wonderful gift to be here today.